Which listen. Hey, we low key got it. Tomlin 2.0 is crazy, bro.
I'm gonna keep saying it. I'm speaking into existence.
Speaking into existence. We gonna get him as our head coach. And him gonna be terrible.
Oh.
He's gonna be like, I said he was Tomlin. He's like, no. He was Tomlinson. He was Tomlinson, not Tomlin.
The issue is that he may be a really good coordinator. And sometimes they promote when you promote the worker bee, doesn't mean he's the guy.
I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. I still believe this. As bad as it is, I still believe Matt Eberflus is a really freaking good defensive coordinator.
I thought you was about to say
no, he's not.
Yes, he is.
He's a bad head coach.
That's what I'm saying.
He's a bad situation.
Like, if we being real, the pieces that he has lost, our defense should be in shambles.
Yeah.
We held the Packers, who have been putting up points, to 20 points.
Yeah.
And realistically speaking, if Jalen Johnson don't trip over his shoes,
might have been
less.
A win. Yeah.
I don't know. It might
have been less than a win.
Okay.
Like, I mean, so I still give Flus his credit as a DC, as head coach. Get him out of here. But he may not be going anywhere, ladies and gentlemen, because David Kaplan on ESPN today, this picture of Flus kills me every time. David Kaplan on ESPN today was talking about the Chicago Bears and how he is confirming, per his sources, that Matt Eberflus got a 5-year deal. That would mean that there are 2 years left on Matt Eberflus's contract. Again, these are per David Kaplan's sources. I don't know if this is factual or not, but Cap has a pretty big platform. He knows people. He's got his sources. And so he's putting it out there. Brad Biggs also put this assessment out there as well, that he has a 2-year deal. Adam Rank also put this out there as well, that he has 2 years left on his deal. Adam Rank, again, remember, he put it out there with the caveat that Flus, no matter what happens at the end of the season, is going nowhere. He's got immunity out here. But there's a couple places that I want to take this conversation. First off, let's start it off here. With 2 years left, at the end of this season, with everything that has happened, do we think that the Chicago Bears still move on from Flus, knowing that $6 million a year, that would be $12 million they would have to pay him over the next 2 years in totality, and you would have to pay another head coach. And if we're getting in the head coach that we hope we get, you're probably talking about paying $10 to $12 million, possibly upwards of $15 million for that guy, which means you're probably not getting that guy knowing the Bears. $30 million, realistically speaking, in head coaches for the Bears over the next 2 years. Do we think that let's speak McCaskey, boys. Do we think that? Don't speak Jordan. Speak McCaskey. Also, don't you break my mic.
I'm ready to crush it right now. I'm ready to crush it.
Do we think that the Chicago Bears, watch yourself, Crusher, are going to move off of Matt Eberflus if he does have that 2-year deal?
For all the love of everything blue and orange, I certainly hope so.
That's not an answer.
I tried. No,
they might do it.
They might do it.
Because you get what you pay for. You pay for a cheap coach. The good coaches are commanding, like you said, 10 to 12 million. You're paying him $6 million. So if you're able to break it down to $6 million,
but you'd be paying basically $20 million in coaches a year.
No, for 2 years, that's it.
No, or you would be paying $20 million for your current coach and Matt Eberflus.
But if I'm correct, that money doesn't come out of the salary cap. That comes out of just regular expenses.
It come out of their pockets.
It come out of their pockets.
So, do we believe that the McCaskies will move on?
No, really, Matt Eberflus. Okay, let's just be honest.
They're a multi-billion-dollar organization. That is a drop in the bucket.
That's great.
Yeah,
it sounds good, Joe.
Hey, Jerry Reinsdorf also is a multi-billion-dollar whatever organization.
He said whatever.
Man's cheap. They're a cheap ran organization.
But
in my
they've done
opinion.
it before.
Yeah, but they're very loyal to a fault to their people.
No, what they did before was they fired a coach that they weren't paying that much to bring in another coach that they weren't paying that much.
They fired Lovey. They still paid him.
And they brought in Mark Trestman that was making $3 million.
Yeah, another cheap coach.
So so in totality, you were paying like $8 million in coaches.
Oh, you paid them DeAndre Swift money.
Look,
you were paying them Swifty money.
I would love for them to just actually do the right thing and actually just not be involved and let Kevin Warren make that decision. It doesn't matter what the McCaskey say now because you hired a president of operations.
It still matters because it's about their money coming out.
But he has to answer to that versus asking for permission. Technically,
well, if I'm the president, get out of way of football.
If I'm the president,
listen. Whoever's got the money, you got to go talk to them. You can say, if I'm the president, it's my decision of the highway. Yeah. But unless Kevin Warren plan on leaving the Chicago Bears, it's still the McCaskey's decision. Shout out Dan Tanner with the super chat. He said, I'm fluent in McCaskey. Cheap, cheap, cheap. Yep. Cheap, cheap, cheap. Lord, we might be stuck. Pat's right. That sounds like a Bears move.
It is Bearsy. But they also, we have a new president. Like, it's different, sort of.
If we had a new president,
is it a different paycheck? Is it a different checkbook?
No, what I'm getting at is
Virginia
that
still got to crack open the deep purse that's like 8 miles deep. You can pull a lamp out of it to find the checkbook.
The pearls.
Oh, this was given to me by the Sultan of SWAT back in the day.
I still think that all offensive coordinators have to go to her office, and she opens up the offensive coordinator.
The tome.
This is your playbook.
Yeah,
you must. This is what Papa ran.
What makes you like you said.
This is how
Daddy ran. We will run.
We will run this.
Yeah, I agree.
This is what made us great.
Nothing else.
Paul Galore said, "Scared money don't make no money. Bears never hire the best choice money can buy."
Shout out PG.
But they did everything backwards. Kevin Warren came after. Like, so this is going to be his offseason and him making that decision. He is replacing the bean counter that Ted Phillips. He's replacing him. Now, how much power? President of operations versus what was Ted Phillips? What was his role?
President of operations.
He was president. Okay, so it's another team.
He wasn't operations. I think he was just president. Period.
No, he was Kevin
team
Warren.
president.
He was a team president. I mean,
what did they make? So Kevin Warren.
Kevin Warren's the team president. Yeah,
they're
the same dude.
All right. So the point is that I don't know yet. If this is on that decision to make, now if he has to answer and go to them and say, look, we have to do this. This is where this is where all it matters. If my franchise is being affected, you're losing the fan base. You're like, everybody's crying for this stuff. Like, the thing is, you got a quarterback that we got to protect, and you keep making these blunders. Like, look at this face. This is year 3. This is year 3. That's not a year 1.
That's a face says I have no answers.
Yeah,
I have no answers.
Yeah.
And okay, let's just simplify this again. Let's just kind of simplify this conversation. Honestly, yes, we think that the Bears do need to fire him.
Everybody thinks the Bears need to fire him.
But at the end of the day, McCaskey's, you know what they should be saying? This is a results-based business. What have the results shown you about this coach? What is his resume?
1 in 68
Thank
million.
You. If I come to a job and I absolutely suck for 3 years, heck, if I absolutely suck during the 90-day period, am I still there? Absolutely not. If I'm not doing my job, I'm fired. Why is this guy still around? Why is the guy still around? It's a results-based business. You don't have the confidence from the team. You shouldn't have the confidence and backing of the organization or the McCaskeys.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter how many years are left on your team. Heck, okay, if you don't want to go out and get anybody else and spend a lot of money, like I said, make Brown the interim coach and then move forward.
This is the thing, man. I've learned this in my entire life as a professional in IT. You get what you pay for. You're going to end up paying twice as much. You go cheap. You get the cheap systems or the cheap computer, whatever. You put it in there. It kind of works. Either it works for a hot second and flames out, or it just never performs like you want it to. Then you got to go and then pay over again, and now you got to either buy out that whatever that contract it was, or get rid of that equipment to buy new stuff. It's the same principle.
Yeah, you just reminded me, I got to replace my laptop on Black Friday.
I'm just saying, but it's the same principle. You get what you pay for. Was it cheap? Good, no cheap. Cheap, no good.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's what you did. You hired a $6 million coach. That's under the market value for a premier coach.
No, I agree with you. Listen, I understand what it could be. When I hear that, when I hear 2 years left on the deal, I said this to y'all, bro. I'm telling y'all, let Thomas Brown win or get you close. He's back. 2 years left. $12 million left on his deal, if that is the case.
That's nothing, though.
It's nothing to them. Bro, but you got to understand, they're not going to spend it.
I understand that, but I'm just saying that
whether it is nothing or not, they're not going to spend it. They're going to say, I'm not paying $18 million for a coach. We wouldn't pay $15 million.
Right, that's their principle.
Yeah, but we wouldn't pay $15 million for a head coach?
What is
Jim Harbaugh. Joel, might I join you in your cry, sir?
What is Harbaugh?
These guys over here.
They even call him.
Didn't even call.
They didn't even pick up the phone.
That's
Rolling
personal
with Matt.
beef, yeah.
And this joke is 7-3 out there in San Diego.
Hey, bro,
Living the
listen.
life, living the dream.
Got alt and everything.
And listen, winners win.
Winners win.
When you
Losers
look
find a
at
way to
that
lose.
team, you literally go,
Yep.
oh, they suck.
Shout out to Brady.
But then you watch it and you're like, wait a minute, maybe they kind of don't suck? Wait a minute, is the defense playing both halves of the game?
But look, now, devil's advocate.
Is Lad McConkey balling out there?
Hey, I like
Shout
your
out to
little Lad
McConkey.
McConkey.
Devil's advocate. This, I don't even want to say devil's advocate. He might
McCaskey's advocate.
No, they might stumble into this work. Let's just say it's a miracle that
Yeah.
they actually win against the Vikings, and they actually go on a tear that we don't expect them to do.
Well, let's not go that far.
I'm just saying, you don't. They're still a top. What are they? A top 12 defense? The Bears have the
Bears
top.
are, yeah, they're the 11th ranked defense. In the
Yeah,
NFL
they're
right now.
they're just outside of the top 10 defense. If the rookie actually takes
no, the Bears
on,
are the 7th ranked defense in the NFL right now.
that's what I'm saying.
According
Like,
to fifth.
so
Right.
who's to say that we might keep him by accident and then he ends up screwing his stuff up for us because next year, no, it's like we get into playoffs and he bungles it because it's like by default. And it's like, well, we won 10 games.
Oh boy.
Like that's what's going to suck.
But the problem is, right, you've watched him time and time again make the wrong decision in that clutch moment.
Mm-hmm.
That's where the playoffs come in. That's where you got to have that conversation on. And to me, it's a wild scenario. I just don't see it being a scenario that Flus ends up leaving. I think what makes it even more wild is what we heard today from the press conference with Thomas Brown, because